Yamagata Prefecture. The Yamagata Prefecture, which can be found in the Tohoku region of northern Japan, is a prefecture known for its nature. Its natural hot springs and snowy mountains showcase the beauty of the region of Japan and embeds itself into people's culture heavily. Many of Yamagata's folktales and myths call back to the nature of Yamagata and tell the tales of Yuki-onna, also known as snow witches, and powerful nature spirits springing to life to play songs. Yamagata's famous mountains are called the Sacred Mountains of Dewa, where the practice of disciplining oneself is highly revered, with each mountain representing the past, present, and future. Yamagata is a very culturally rich in terms of yokai, being the birthplace of one of Japan's most popular ukiyo-e artists in Japanese mythology, Toriyama Sekin. Sekin crafted many depictions of the yokai of Japan, publishing them in a series of scrolls that grew in immediate popularity in the region. In his published works, one can find drawings of the Yama-uba, also known as the mountain witch, and the Kodama, tree inhabiting spirits. As you can see, some of the drawings there are actually Toriyama's. One of the most popular folk stories in the Yamagata Prefecture is that of the Akoya Pine. The tale of the Akoya Pine is quite similar to the tale of Princess Kaguya, in terms that it is a tragic love story where the pair cannot be together. The story begins with a young princess named Akoya Hime playing the koto when she begins to hear the flute playing alongside her in perfect unison. Curious, she seeks for her fellow musician to find a handsome young man who compliments her on her performance. The two began a nightly ritual of playing together and eventually fell in love. One night, the boy appeared to the princess and solemnly told her that he must go. She came to find that he was the spirit of a pine tree, and found his tree on the top of Mount Chitose. He allowed himself to be chopped into wood to build a bridge for the kingdom, and as proof for her love and devotion to him, the princess never married, becoming a Buddhist nun and living the next to the tree stump for the rest of her life. In this story, it could be expected that the young man was a Kodama, a tree-inhabiting kami or tree spirit, that was forced back to its tree for an uncertain reason. In Toriyama's depictions of the Kodama, he writes that after a tree has aged 100 years, a kami would come take its place and show its appearance. These trees would be protected, and those that attempted to cut one down would become cursed. This in turn created a custom among the people to pray to a tree before cutting it down in case it housed a kodama. While in other areas, a festival must be offered to the kodama after a tree is cut, to appease the yokai that once resided there. Nowadays, trees that hold kodama are tied with a shimenwa rope from the Shinto religion. Stories like the one told give the listeners an insight on an unseen world. In the book, An Introduction to Yokai Culture, author Komatsu Kazuhiko details how people are always so involved in their own world, with their own jobs, hobbies, families, that said unseen world is mostly forgotten. However, when beliefs of the supernatural become deep-rooted in people's culture, it becomes a fact of everyday life. As Kazuhiko notes in his book, in some areas of Japan, the culture even bans the consumptions of foods like eel. The Yamagata Prefecture bearing its own set of unique customs brought upon by spirituality, such as the practice ascetics in the mountains of Dewa and the yearly traditions and festivals they have, celebrating this unseen world.